Hey, what's up, guys? Hope everybody's doing well and having a great day. Welcome back to another live stream. Today we're going to talk about the upcoming big event, possible big event that's supposed to take place tonight. I know a lot of people, there were even geophysicists telling you guys that there was going to be this big, powerful G3 geomagnetic storm, and sometimes that happens and sometimes it just doesn't happen. And in this case, I know a lot of you were anticipating possible auroras and stormy activity tonight. That's just not going to happen. What's going on? Cool shots. Who else we got over here in the chat room? What's up, Rick, Lauren? Good to see everybody here. Here's what's going on with the highly anticipated G3 geomagnetic storm. Nothing. NOAA, the National Ocean and Atmospheric Administration, the Space Weather Prediction Center, have canceled tonight's possible category G3 geomagnetic storm. Space weather message WATA 50. Issue time December 9th at 21:03 Universal Time. Cancel watch. Geomagnetic storm predicted for tonight has been canceled. Enhancement from anticipated CME did not occur. And guys, that happens sometimes. That's why I didn't get the cart before the horse and start putting out banners like you see right here that were all over the place. Everybody telling you, oh, the auroras are going to dip down into the United States tonight. Nobody knows that for sure, and here's why. These things have to travel over 90 million miles and stay cohesive and together before they arrive at the Earth, and that's what you're looking at right here. There's the CME that did not arrive, and it did not interact with the Earth. Yes, there was a CME right there that came off the sun just a couple of days ago, but between then and now, something happened, something changed. I've seen that I don't know how many times. I lost count. So it's not going to happen. You're not going to see any auroras tonight. Here's a look at the planetary K index. When there are auroras and geomagnetic storms swarming the Earth and rocks the magnetic shields, it does happen. Yes, it has happened. It's going to happen again. You're talking bars over here at the K index in the red and dark red, G5, G4 range, and sometimes G3. They're all green and they're very, very, very quiet. So yes, the CME did not make it. And here's the thing. Let me show you what's up. That CME came off the top part of the sun. Let me just show you. It came from up here, right? If indeed the sun is round, and we're under the impression that it is round, that CME came towards the Earth because it came from right in here, 4299, when it was over here. But again, it was well above the equator. It went up and over the Earth. It didn't come direct. Yeah, it came directly at the Earth, but it went above the Earth, my friends. This one down here, if it does, say, do a X flare, or it's done several M flares down here, 4296, 4298. They've been very active with regard to M flares, but they don't have enough horsepower to really generate a big storm cloud. So, and even if they did, the energy would stay south of the Earth because they're so far south of the equator of the sun. So once again, the Space Weather Prediction Center, not me, canceled the big show for tonight that everybody was talking about. And again, getting the cart before the horse. They were showing y'all this right here and saying that this was going to happen, and the sun had other plans. And that happens more often than not. You would be amazed at how many times I've seen that happen. But I will say that the sun in the last 48 hours has been in high gear. Notice how the activity is all trending upward. And in the last 24 hours, there's been at least 3 M-class solar flares. In the last 48 hours, there was a double there. What is counted as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Good grief. There's been 8 M-class solar flares. And the Earth-facing side of the sun still very busy, but we're probably not going to see anything. If we do see anything tonight, and that's a big, big if we do, it is not going to be anything like that. I'd be the first to let you know, but I didn't report on that a couple of days ago. I talked about the CME and the X-class solar flare and the M-class solar flare. Of course, I've talked about those for years. But you got to really be careful with these things because they will change. They can and will change in flight, and they certainly do. Also in this video, guys, we're going to take a look at a green haze, a pink haze. In fact, I've got just a photo I want to share with you guys. This is 100% unedited. It's exactly the way I received it from Allison out of Clinton, Missouri. The reason she took the picture because the sky was pink. And this was just a couple of days ago. Actually, it was, let's see, yeah, just a couple of days ago. That is, again, 100% unedited. Like these videos here, 100% unedited. Here you go. Check this out. Young lady was driving down the highway in Dallas. Rebecca Epiphania. This was on the 3rd. Now, keep in mind, I understand that horticulture, what do they call them? Greenhouses. Greenhouses can make the sky a purple, pink, depending on the atmospheric conditions. I don't know if that's what she's got going on here. I mean, that's covering a very large area. So I don't know, but on the 3rd, there was no geomagnetic storm activity here on the Earth. She lives here in this area. If this were some sort of a greenhouse operation over here, I think she would see it probably every night. You know what I mean? It wouldn't be anything new and startling that you would want to film as you're going 65 miles an hour down a primary freeway. I just don't think that would be the case. So you would be used to seeing that every night. That was something that was new to her. This one here is a video out of Oceanside, California. Joshua is some sort of a misty pink fog. It happens from time to time, but it doesn't happen very often. And that's an extreme example of pink haze, pink fog. But I just wanted to share the 3 examples that I've gotten from people here and in just the matter of a week, a very short period of time. I want to show you guys, oh, here's Mount Kilauea smoking today, not doing any fit throwing. It's been throwing it, it threw a fit the other day for 18 hours straight. Here's a look at the backside of the sun from the stereo ahead spacecraft. And it has been quiet because the activity, the quiet activity has been on the Earth-facing side of the sun. And there was another CME right there. This one here, this was from an M-class solar flare that occurred less than 36 hours ago. Notice the CME because it came off of well above the equator at around the 30-degree north latitude, or I'm sorry, 50-degree north latitude. Look at the direction of the CME. It went up. There you go. See that? It went up. Earth would be over here, not up here. So that happens sometimes. Those higher latitude active regions and sunspots, they can be tricky. And that would be considered a higher latitude sunspot. The ones across the center of the equator are much more predictable than the higher and lower latitude CME. So not going to be any action in that regard, guys. I got something out of Australia I want to share with you guys that's really cool. But first, I want to take you guys up to Michigan. Here's another mysterious sky. Earth showing all kinds of weird colors. Let me let you listen to the narration by Tanya. Midland, Michigan on the night of the 7th. This wasn't a November 7th.
It did scare me, but whatever.
This was not a CM or an aurora.
Check it out. That is
She had no idea what this was. And she lives here. Okay, so
Michigan.
Midland, Michigan.
It's something p.m.
It was 8 o'clock at night, 8:07.
Couldn't tell you the date.
It was the 7th.
I know it's November 7th. That's it.
November 7th.
That's so wicked.
There's the big green ball up in the sky.
Yeah.
And again, she lives there and had no idea what it was. You know, it's just like, okay, I get videos like that a lot. And, you know, sometimes I share them and sometimes I don't. I want to take you guys to It's got a variety of different things I want to share with you guys. Another large stationary craft. Where is it? Las Vegas. Okay, but first I want to do a recap real quick. Remember yesterday, those of you that were here, remember this video I shared with you guys out of Blackwell, Oklahoma? Nick Price from the 4th of December saw this large, somebody asked me if this was Starlink, and I got to be honest, it looks like a small version of Starlink, but it was only 3 lights right there, and I'm moving this back and forth. There's a view. This man was doing 100 miles an hour down the freeway, missed his exit, pulled off right here, got out of his car and started recording it right here as it was drifting very slowly across the nighttime sky right here above Blackwell, Oklahoma. Well, the reason I'm showing you this again is because I have another one to share with you guys. See it right there? That is one structure moving through the sky above Blackwell, or it was just the other night. Well, check this out. Here's yet another example of a large stationary craft, this time above Las Vegas. Check it out. I think this has narration. I don't know.
So
Yeah,
we're here in Las Vegas, and you see that helicopter down there going? But right there, that light is just sitting there. Like, I know the airport's just to the right over here, but that plane is just sitting there. Or if it's a plane, what is up with that?
Okay, we're going to zoom in and take a closer look at this thing. We're going to put it side by side. As he said, it wasn't moving, it was stationary. At times, when I zoom in, you're going to be able to see a third light on this thing that was just sitting in the sky. And as we all know, airplanes don't just sit in the sky. They're not able to do that. So what I did, I put together a side by side with the Oklahoma craft. Here we go, check it out. So here's Oklahoma on the right, Las Vegas over here on the left. Look at the similarities. And when I zoom in, which right there, you're going to be able to see just briefly a third light over here on the right. Right there it was. It looks eerily similar, maybe just a little bit smaller, to the object above Blackwell, Oklahoma. Look at that thing. It's not moving. It is just sitting there. There's the third light right there. Did you see it? Let me back it up just a little bit. Right. Showed up 2 times right there. It was on the far right-hand side. Right there. Okay, see it? Right there it is. So there's 3 lights, just like the one in Oklahoma. There's the third one. So there was this large structure sitting in the sky above Las Vegas just the other night. The gentleman had the presence of mind to notice that it was not moving. So he began filming and sent me that video, and I've shared it with you guys. So these things are becoming quite common. People are sending me videos regularly of these mysterious large objects in the nighttime sky. And sometimes people are seeing these things in the daytime sky as well. But speaking of the nighttime sky, check this out. I'm going to take you guys now down to Australia. Here we go. Mysterious pulses and high-speed lights in the nighttime sky. Jeff Kernick out of Queensland, Australia. He was filming the night sky, and this stuff is extremely high altitude, by the way. It's nowhere near where airplanes fly, not even close. That thing right there was trucking along in the nighttime sky, and it doesn't appear to be a satellite. Satellites would be probably a little bit higher. I would say that's somewhere near low Earth orbit, but I don't know. I'm saying, I don't know, maybe somewhere in the 60 to 100,000 foot range. I don't know. It's definitely not behaving like an airplane, moving way too fast. These stationary objects are obviously background stars. Here's video number 2 from the same gentleman. You're going to see some interesting stuff here. I think this one here, yeah, there's a pulse. He noticed what looked like a nova, a supernova, right there. Watch. See the light just briefly pulse on and then it pulses off. That's how a nova acts, or a pulsar. I've seen one. I know what they look like. It looks like that. But I don't know if that's what it was because the quality, once I zoomed in, there was another one. You see that stationary flash? Came from the same location? I don't know if that man recorded some sort of a distant nova. Pretty cool though. Whatever he was seeing. Right, there it is again. Another flash in the nighttime sky. And that's not an iridium flare because that's perfectly stationary. It wasn't moving. Watch the upper left. Check this out. Upper left, upper left. Are you serious? That's at original speed too. What was that? Let's back it up and look at it one more time. Upper left, came out of nowhere. Unbelievable. What's going on down there in the skies above Australia? Are you serious right now? Check out this flash. This is bright. Very, very bright. Maybe it's the next one. Right there in the middle. There was a dull, he noticed it though, and I was able to pull it forward just a little bit, but there was something up there. Full view. Watch right here. Here's a bright flash. I think this is the one that was very, very bright. There's one coming up. Yeah, that one was pretty bright, but there's one that's even brighter. I mean, it pulsed many times, so it wasn't an iridium flare. Iridium flare will pulse just once, and it's a satellite that's that glows from its position with regard to the sun. That's not what's happening. Did you see that? Now, granted, you're going to think, okay, that's a classic iridium flare. No, because it did it multiple times. Watch. There's the brightest point at its peak. Good grief. And it's moving, so it's not a pulsar or a nova. Look at that thing. It just got real bright again. I don't know what's going on down there above Australia. Wow. Fascinating sky. See how it gets bright again? Look at that. Whoa. Brighter than the stars in the background. Now that's pretty bright. Here we go again. Watch. Not an iridium flare. Iridium flare would just flare up once and then disappear into the night sky, and you wouldn't see it again. This kept revealing itself over and over and over. In fact, it never went away. It just got brighter and then dimmer, brighter, dimmer, brighter, dimmer, brighter, dimmer, as it right there as it's moving through the sky. In fact, the video was nearly 3 minutes long. I've condensed it for presentation purposes for you guys. So you're not sitting here watching the whole 3 minutes. This is the most active 3 minutes. Sometimes it became less visible than others, but it was still there. I could see it, but it was just hard to convey in video format. There it kind of had a reddish tint to it. Could have been just the optics, the atmospheric optics. Here I have it in fast forward, obviously, because the video was over 3 minutes long. But there was something, again, moving through the sky above Australia at high speed. Here's another object. Watch up here in the left-hand corner again. Wait for it, wait for it. Whoa! Are you serious? He wasn't expecting that. I'm going to slow down and give you a much better look. Something entered the field of view. Bright streak of light. Appeared to have some sort of a, I don't know again if it was atmospheric optics or what, but watch what happens. Because these background stars have what's called red drag too. See the red drag? So I don't think that thing actually had a red tail. It was just giving us the impression it had a red tail. It did not. But whatever it was apparently, it could have been a meteorite, I suppose. But this red is just an anomaly from the camera and the atmospheric optics in and above Australia, deep in the southern hemisphere on this particular night. And it was just a few nights ago. But something went streaking through the sky that he was totally not prepared for. He was filming those stars right there when that thing just came literally out of nowhere. And speaking out of nowhere, once again, if you guys are just joining, the highly anticipated G3 geomagnetic storm for tonight has been canceled per the Space Weather Prediction Center. The NOAA issued this cancellation just a few minutes ago, less than an hour ago. The enhancement from the anticipated CME, once again, did not occur. So this right here is null and void. It is simply not going to be anywhere close to that tonight. In fact, it's not even going to happen. You may see something if you're in the very high latitudes of the Earth, but looking at the planetary K index right now, there's hardly any density in the solar wind at all. Let's go over here to space. Yeah, 1.93 protons, and the solar wind's only at 348. That's just a standard day dancing with the sun. That is nothing. That's normal. That is just a normal day with the sun. So looks like it's going to stay that way. With regard to earthquake activity, there have been no large earthquakes in the last 24 hours. There's still been some aftershocks up here in Alaska. There's still been a few aftershocks over here in Japan, in the Japan area, following the 7.6 and the 6.6. But that people were saying there was a tsunami issued with this. There was not. There was no tsunami alert. I saw multiple posts regarding a tsunami from this 7.6, and there just simply wasn't. I saw a post talking about a tsunami and the United States. I'm like, what? That just simply was not even true. I don't know where some of this stuff comes from. I seriously don't. But there was no tsunami with the 7.6. Even as big as it was, you would think, wow, that's going to produce a big tsunami. But it did not. So anyway, guys, thanks for all the likes. Thanks for spending part of your Tuesday with me. It's going to be Friday again before you know it. Fridays it seems like weeks now are like days, and months are like weeks. Time is certainly flying. It definitely is. Maybe it's got something to do with the heightened solar activity. And again, solar activity is still fairly high. I mean, we've got, here's what the aurora looks like now. This is called the ovation prime. That would be this right here when it's really juiced from the sun and a direct impact from a strong CME when the Earth is literally rocked. The magnetic shields are compressed and pushed down. They are rocked from strong G3s, G4s, and especially G5s associated with proton storms. But this right here, I mean, that is literally nothing. I don't know if you can even see auroras. You might if there's no clouds. You might see a few in far inside the Arctic Circle is where you're going to have to be at this point to see any auroras. The way this thing is performing, it's just simply not doing anything. You would literally have to be in the Arctic Circle. But is there a chance for more activity? Absolutely there is. And these down here could produce X-class solar flares. From what I understand, they still have beta, gamma, delta magnetics. So these things could be overachievers if they wanted to, but for the last few days, they've honestly been very, very quiet. Much like it's going to be tonight with regard to auroras, the CME missed planet Earth, so not much going on tonight, guys, at least in that field. What's up, Stark Commander? Good to see everybody here in the house today. Thanks for all your comments, and if you guys want to become Star family members like Stark, the link is down below in the description box. All right, guys, listen, that's all I got for today. As always, thanks for watching. Have a super day and be safe out there.